LEGO's latest line of 18-plus sets has given builders a Swiss surprise in 2020. But how good is LEGO's first locomotive geared for adults? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Nick Dombey from ToledoRails, and I can't think of the last time I was this excited for a new LEGO set. Released on July 1st, 2020 here in the United States, here is set 10277, the Crocodile Locomotive. The set contains 1,271 pieces to build the locomotive and the display track. Inside there are 4 numbered bags and 1 for bigger parts and the wheels. Now, while I get started on the build, this is what LEGO has to say about the prototype. Inspired by the Class CE682 locomotives, first built for the Swiss Federal Railways between 1919 and 1927, this beautiful LEGO model is packed with realistic details. With side rods that move as the wheels turn and posable pantographs that move up and down, there's a lot to explore. Lift the roof access and the crew compartment and use the 2 minifigures to bring the story of this iconic train to life, adding the powered-up components sold separately to motorize your locomotive. I have to admit that I've always had a soft spot for Switzerland and its railroads. The breathtaking scenery with the unique trains slicing through the Alps absolutely won me over as a kid, with the World's Greatest Train Rides VHS episode on the country. So when LEGO announced this set, I was definitely biased when it came to that. The model itself is an impressive build. It took me a couple hours to finish. The 20.5-inch display base has 2 1x4s in the center to hold the locomotive in place and a plaque that shows the specs of the real Crocodile locomotive. Now the Crocodile itself is divided into 3 sections: the center cab, which houses the gearings, and the 2 identical ends. Those ends are joined together by a ball joint and create an unprototypical gap, which can be justified, and I'll explain later. Now, back to the model itself, the locomotive has paneling throughout that has snot techniques being employed to help provide some of the grills and the cab and even some of the windows. All of the lettering on the locomotive is printed onto the brick, ensuring consistency between the models. The pantographs are able to be raised and lowered, and the crew can be placed inside on both ends of the cab. The Crocodile locomotive, for $99, is packed with an extreme detail, and certainly one that would look great sitting on a shelf. There's just one problem with that. I don't buy shelf models. If I purchase or build a locomotive, you better believe I intend to run it. Now, right out the gate at the LEGO store, I purchased the powered-up battery box and the L motor recommended by LEGO to motorize the Crocodile and put it through its paces. Now, this should come with an additional warning because on the box, it mentions the powered-up aspects to it. They are not included in the set. And also, full retail price from LEGO, I paid an additional $90, and that's not even including the batteries. Now, converting the locomotive really is quite simple. The center cab detail, featuring where the crew would sit, has to be removed, and the battery box and L motor will go inside. Now, the L motor in particular, I was a little worried that the L motor would not be big enough to power the model, but the gearing allows for a decent slow-speed creep and a pretty moderate top speed, just like on the real Crocodiles, which really don't have that top of speed. Now, those ball joints that I had mentioned earlier that connect to the ends of the cab really come in handy on LEGO's tried-and-true track, which runs at a tight 40-stud radius. My Crocodile seemed grumpy on the switches, lifting and re-railing itself, or altogether derailing, which was annoying, but it's an easy fix, so I gave it a little bit of a pass. I ran my Crocodile on the LEGO Powered Up app on my iPhone, which uses Bluetooth to create a very reliable connection. The display mimics the cab of the real CE682 with the steering wheel throttle and independent brake. Even the labels are left in German. Now, to operate a double-ended locomotive, the end that is blinking for the powered-up battery box is the front end, and by turning your throttle clockwise, that will cause the locomotive to accelerate forward. Subsequently, counterclockwise makes it run reverse. This is the second powered-up set I have with the Disney train that was released last year, and here's footage of those running together. The biggest compliment I can give to this model is that the looks and the build do not feel like a LEGO set. And I cannot believe that I'm dealing with an official LEGO product. You see, there's so many third-party builders out there that are cranking out excellent content for the train community and also a ton of other series in LEGOs, that their builds have gotten more complicated, more ornate over the past 10 years, that this is the first set that really feels like LEGO is seeing what's been done, stepping up their game, and responding to the adult train market. The set itself, it's not easy. I think it certainly earns its 18 plus rating on the side of that box. It's a very complicated and rewarding build. There are rumors that LEGO is considering making more adult-oriented trains, and if this is the model that kicks off this trend, I am happy to be one of the many who will support LEGO in this endeavor. While a Swiss locomotive may not be everyone's cup of tea, the Crocodile itself stands as an internationally recognized design from Switzerland that finds its way into every railroad book or poster. If you're a train enthusiast looking for a model to make and display on a shelf, this locomotive's right up your alley. If you're a LEGO builder exclusively, this is a very complicated and rewarding build that will give you a great couple hours to relax and unwind with a beautiful set. If you want to spend the extra money to have an operational Crocodile, I again can only recommend it. I really hope you can get your hands on this set. I promise you won't be disappointed. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think of the 10277 Crocodile set? Leave a comment below and be sure to check out my channel for more railroad content.